How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to 2A News Now. And as always here at 2A News Now, you get your Second Amendment news straightforward and to the point with no BS added in. I know you won't be surprised when I tell you the Democrats are being accused on pushing a backdoor gun tax on law-abiding gun owners. Colorado Democrats are accused of pushing a backdoor gun tax through legislation that would require firearm owners to purchase liability insurance. 3 state Democrats, 2 representatives, and 1 state senator on February 13th introduced legislation which would require gun owners to maintain insurance that covers anyone injured from an accidental shooting. Those who fail to buy the extra coverage would face up to a $500 fine for the first offense and a $1,000 fine for the second offense. That's right, the same justice reform obsessed lawmakers who had to be publicly shamed on cracking down on auto theft last year after, for some ungodly reason, they previously reduced it to a misdemeanor, but they have no problem socking it to lawful gun owners. One of the bill's sponsors, Representative Stephen Woodrow, said the bill would encourage responsible firearm ownership amid escalating gun violence. He pointed to a study that found deaths and injuries from firearms cost Colorado nearly $12 billion last year. Really, $12 billion in 1 year in Colorado? I find that hard to believe. But really what this bill does is to limit legal gun ownership, plain and simple. In other words, it's gun control by another name. It also amounts to a gun tax, as well as more profits for the insurance industry. The proposal doesn't provide an exception for firearms safely locked in an owner's home. Gun owners must be denied insurance twice or prove they can't afford the coverage before they are granted an exception from the state government. How about that? You can plead poverty, but you have to go to court first. How considerate of the authors of this bill. And these type of bills are being proposed all across the country in Democrat cities and states. In January, a Maryland Democrat proposed similar legislation that would prohibit gun owners from carrying unless they paid at least $300,000 in liability insurance. The bill's sponsor, Terry Hill, called it another effort to common sense legislation. I haven't seen any common sense coming from a Democrat politician in a long time. In California, meanwhile, Governor Gavin Newsom signed a bill into law that in July will add an 11% excise tax on gun and ammunition purchases on top of an already existing 10% or 11% federal tax. Newsom said the carnage is too much. We can't normalize it. We can't accept it. This is a small price to pay. Really, a small price to pay. How can anybody afford to live in California, let alone pay for your Second Amendment rights? Critics argued that slapping more gun control policies on lawful firearm owners doesn't reduce violence in any way, shape, or form. And of course it violates the Second Amendment. And it's a blatant, egregious attack on the rights of law-abiding Californians and a calculated maneuver to dismantle the Second Amendment. I've said it before in videos. I'll give it to the Democrats. When they go after something, they go after it, and they continue to go after it, especially when it comes to gun control. And they continue to throw more and more unconstitutional laws at our Second Amendment rights. And it's up to us and groups like Gun Owners of America and Firearms Policy Coalition and others to make sure that these laws never get passed. And if they do, fight to our dying breath to get them overturned so we can continue to have our God-given Second Amendment rights that so many people in the past and even more in the future fight for every single day. As always, I would really like to hear your thoughts about today's video in the comment section down below. And if you guys would like to help the channel out and help it continue to grow, just take a few seconds of your time to like, share, and subscribe and hit those post notifications. I would be very grateful. And I invite you to come back and watch my next video.